Good morning from the beautiful, even though you can't see it much right now, Columbia River Gorge, a land of waterfalls. That's what I'm gonna be photographing today, and I'm gonna show you how I do it and hopefully give you some ideas for your own photography. And I can't think of a better way to start a day than photographing the most famous of all waterfalls. I mean, here in the gorge, of course. I think I made my favorite image of this waterfall from back there from the parking lot on a very moody day. I was taking advantage of some low-hanging clouds or fog, and I made it with my Bronica on film. It's a beautiful photo and it's one of my favorites.
When you're in front of a place like this, it can be very tempting to just capture the whole thing. And to that I say, absolutely, go for it. That's what I did, using my widest lens and shooting this at 11mm. Now that we've got that big composition out of the way, let's tighten things up. We want to get a bit closer and start noticing the smaller details. Here I'm using focal lengths between 20 and 28mm, still pretty wide, but much closer than before. Oh, and by the way, all these exposures are between 2 and 5 seconds to smooth out the water. Okay, let's mount the big lenses now. Ironically, I had to move a bit farther from the waterfall to increase the compression and make it look really big behind that bridge. Also, I didn't plan to have a person in the frame, but I actually like it a lot. Not every shot has to be a long exposure. You can also freeze time to capture the raw power of the waterfall. And finally, don't forget to play with the environment, contrasting other elements against the waterfall.
Well, that was beautiful. As usual, today is gonna be a good day for waterfall photography. Not like yesterday. I've been here for a couple days in the area, and yesterday was pretty nasty. The weather was bad. It was pouring down the whole day, so I stayed in the car most of the time just looking for compositions from the driver's seat, not unlike the one that I'm seeing right now from here up there. So I'm gonna take it before it goes away. It's really beautiful here, especially when you have fog rolling in and out like that, because it gives you very different images within just a few minutes. Actually, a big section of the gorge burnt down a few years ago. In fact, the year I left Portland, and even though it's sad, it kind of makes for even more dramatic pictures because of all the dead trees.
I took a lot of photos from the side of the road. I could spend all day just looking at those cliffs. But I digress. This is a video about waterfalls. The thing is, after Multnomah Falls, the others start to look a bit less photogenic. Horsetail Falls wasn't inspiring me much at first, so I looked for something different. I started playing with paddles and reflections and came up with this image. It was okay, I didn't love it, so I went ahead and pointed my camera at the waterfall, looking for more traditional compositions. Like before, I got closer, searching for the smaller details, especially where the waterfall narrows down. And for the last shot, I stepped back and added a tree to the composition. I think the two very similar shapes, dark versus bright, work very well here. For the next waterfall, we are going deep into the forests of Washington.
This next waterfall that I'm gonna photograph requires a little bit more work to get to it, and especially today because the road is, well, blocked. It's a bit unfortunate because it adds 1 mile each way to the hike. That was 3-4 miles round trip already, so it's gonna be more like a 6-mile round trip hike, but it's still totally worth the drive through the forest and coming here to the Washington side, because I believe, in my opinion, that this waterfall is the most beautiful in the area. Also, all the colors in the forest are just beautiful. I'm sure I can hear many of you screaming at your screen, take a color photo! But don't worry, I saw many photographers in the gorge today. I hadn't seen so many cameras in a very long time. I'm pretty sure it's the colors of the fall, so there's gonna be no shortage of color photos of the fall. I'm gonna keep doing the black and white ones. So that was indeed exactly 1 mile from the fallen tree to the trailhead. I'm just starting the hike now. I think I'm doing good on time, and I just realized I forgot something in the car, the wind blower flu thing, so I better be very careful when I change lenses to not get anything on the sensor. Okay, I'm getting close to the falls. I'm gonna change the lens now because, you know, it's good that it's been raining for 4 days non-stop, because waterfalls are pretty powerful right now, so that's good for the photos. But there's definitely a lot of mist and water coming at you when you are close. So I know almost for sure that I'm going to be using this lens, the 10 to 18 millimeters. The last time I was here, the only time I was here many years ago, I only had a 18 millimeter lens, and that was not enough, not even close. So I know that the 16 to 28 is not going to be enough. I'm gonna have to go with the ultra wide angle. I'm gonna mount the 10 stop right there. Also, I'm not 100% convinced that this Laowa is weather sealed, so I need to be careful about that. What a beautiful place, what a beautiful waterfall, and what a beautiful hike. It was a little bit challenging to photograph, at least in black and white, because it was very chaotic, but I mean, like any other waterfall, I guess. I couldn't see any tight shots of the waterfall. I went with just the wide angle shots, which is fine. They still look pretty good, but I was hoping to do something different. But anyway, things were going good. Too good on this trip so far. I had not dropped my camera even once. I had not broken any piece of equipment. I was feeling really proud of myself. That was until a few days ago when I dropped my stills camera at the Washington coast on some rocks. It wasn't too bad, even though it did sound and look pretty bad, but I only bent my magnetic ring that I use for my ND filters a little bit. I had to buy a new one, but today I dropped my video camera, and the consequences were, well, a little bit worse because I did lose two filters, my ND filter and my diffusion filter. I use them both for video, and yeah, I'm gonna have to buy new ones. Thankfully, both lenses and cameras are totally okay, so I'm very thankful for that. They are okay as far as I know. And I promise I try to be as careful as possible, but you know, I'm not just doing photography out here, I'm also doing videos, so I'm taking photos, but at the same time I'm filming myself. I have to be running from one place to another, setting up the tripod, then going back to position while I take pictures. And usually in bad weather, so things are bound to happen. This photography thing is not cheap. It's even worse when you add on top of all of that gas and all of the other expenses that I have on the road. That's why I'm so thankful for the support of my patrons. I do what I do thanks to them. Of course, I'm also thankful for everyone who watches my videos to the end, likes them, shares them, and subscribes to my channel. All of that helps quite a lot. But yeah, if you want to support my work, if you want to help me making more videos like this one, you can join my Patreon page here. You can go to my website following the link in the description below, buy one of my ebooks or one of my physical books. Anyway, thank you so much. Let's keep going.
Now it's time to leave behind the green forests and enter a very different landscape, where the next and last waterfall of the day awaits.
This next waterfall I'm photographing today has taken us a little bit farther from the Columbia Gorge. I am now east of the Cascade Mountains, but the source of this waterfall is still Mount Hood. This place is called White River Falls. It comes from the White River Glacier in Mount Hood, and this water eventually will end up in the Columbia Gorge.
It always blows my mind how much a few mountains can change the landscape. This place isn't far from the waterfalls we just saw, but the Cascade Mountains act as a barrier for the clouds, stopping most of the rain from ever reaching this side. The result is a much drier landscape, but still with plenty of water flowing down from those same mountains. Here I follow the same process. I start wide with this image, and then I get closer and closer.
And with the beautiful White River Falls, this video comes to an end. I hope it was useful, that you learned some new things about how to photograph waterfalls. You can leave your own tips and advice in the comments down below. Now, as you can see, the landscape is changing dramatically as I keep heading south and move on to the next phase of this photography road trip of mine across the US. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again very soon. Subscribe so you don't miss the next videos. Alright, thanks.